and welcome to Dott Television's Midday News. I am Nkechi Chukwudi, and here are the stories we have for you. Women in politics under Women Inter-Party Relations have been inaugurated in Delta State, with Annabel Cosmos emerging as the Delta State coordinator of the group. The group is for women in politics different from different registered political party in the state, united under a common goal of supporting women to excel in politics. Speaking, the state coordinator of the group, Annabel Cosmos, said that it is necessary they participate actively in political activities in the state, like their male counterparts. She encouraged the newly inaugurated members of the group to come up with ideas that will grow the group.
We want our voice to be heard. They must hear our voice. You see women in some countries today, they are presidents, they are governors, they are this. But in that state today, we will not be given the privilege to hold this position. But as I'm speaking to you today, we have women that are contesting for the position of governance today in that state. And we are going to support, we are going to promote these people that are already in that position. We are starting at the grassroots level for us, for the governor to know that these women are ready, and tomorrow they are going to sit on this seat. So we are not going to give the men, we are not saying we are going to fight them, but we are going to support our own. We are going to support the women because the women, they are our own.
Also speaking at the event, a former chairman of IPAC Delta State, an SSA to the governor on inter-party relations, Emeka Bidioko, asked the women to support the state government in developing the state while aligning with their party's goals and manifestos.
Every country will not feel that the women they are making waves. Go to London, the most affordable woman in London politics today. She's a Nigerian woman, and she's making waves. Even if it was not born in London person, but she's making waves there among white men and everywhere. So when you speak out, you'll be heard. When you speak out, the same majority will have their way, but minority will always have their say. Let your say be heard. Let your say matter. So at the end of the day, we'll say, okay, they will count you among the people that matter. It's not going to be an easy journey. It's a journey where you contribute whatever you have. Strive hard to make sure you succeed.
Meanwhile, as Nigeria moves closer to another general election cycle, political activities are gradually gathering momentum as parties begin preparations for the contest ahead. Our correspondent Cynthia Adanaya spoke with representatives of political parties on their readiness ahead of the elections.
Political parties remain central to Nigeria's democratic process, providing platforms for candidates seeking elective offices and mobilizing citizens to participate in governance. As preparations intensify, parties across the country are strengthening their structures, engaging with the public, and positioning candidates they believe can address the nation's pressing challenges. Party representatives say they are committed to grassroots mobilization and promoting peaceful participation throughout the electoral process.
In every election, grassroots matters a lot. So we are dipping deep into our grassroots, and all hands has been on deck to see how to encourage our people in the grassroots.
Speaking on youth participation, a political party representative urged young Nigerians not to allow themselves to be used as political talks, vote bias agents, or perpetrators of electoral violence. Citizens were also encouraged to vote peacefully and choose candidates based on competence, integrity, and their capacity to serve the public interest.
With the situation of this country now, with what is happening both in our economy, both in insecurity and others, I expect every Nigerian voters to come out en masse and vote their right candidates. And say no to rigging. Say no to vote buying, and say no to other nonsense during the election.
Meanwhile, some Nigerians expressed their expectations of political parties and candidates ahead of the election, calling for leaders who genuinely care about citizens' welfare rather than making empty campaign promises. They also urged fellow citizens not to sell their vote for temporary financial gain, stressing that the country's future depends on the informed choices at the polls.
Basic amenities, good governance, that's what we need. Not promise and fail, not the people that will come in and deceive us. They'll tell us they will do this, they will not do what they promise us to do. That's what we want basically. I want to encourage my fellow citizens or fellow Nigerians, please vote wisely, don't sell your votes. Vote for those that are trusted, that you know can perform perfectly well, not those that will build bridges on air. We don't want such candidate, please. Vote for the rightful candidate. That's what I want.
As political parties continue their preparations for the general election, stakeholders say the success of Nigerian democracy depends on the peaceful participation, informed choices, and responsible leadership. Many Nigerians are also looking beyond campaign promises, seeking leaders with a genuine commitment to improving the lives of the people. Reporting from Asaba, Cynthia Adenaya, Dott TV News.
Labour leaders are calling for fresh review of Nigeria's national minimum wage, saying the current 70,000 naira wage has been overtaken by rising inflation and the cost of living. The call was made at the Nigeria Rights of Workers Summit 2026 in Benin Kebbi, Kebbi State. Speaking on behalf of the Nigerian Labour Congress President, Joe Ajaero, his deputy, Audu Amba, said the existing wage arrangement had expired and urged the federal government to begin fresh negotiations for an upward review. Former NLC President Ayuba Waba also stressed that decent work goes beyond salary increases, noting that workers' rights, job security, social protection, and meaningful dialogue are equally important. The Chief of Army Staff, Lieutenant General Waid Shaibu, has identified terrorism, insurgency, banditry, kidnapping, separatist agitations, and transnational organized crime as major security threats confronting Nigeria. Shaibu spoke at the graduation of 1,182 Special Forces troops from the 10th batch of the Advanced Infantry Training Program in Kachai, Kaduna State. He charged the soldiers to uphold human rights, uphold the rule of law, and maintain professionalism while tackling the country's security challenges. The 6-month training conducted under Exercise Restore Hope X focused on advanced tactical operations, marksmanship, combat medicine, leadership, and counterinsurgency. The Senate has explained that the Federal Capital Territory was excluded from the proposed state police arrangement because it has no governor or state house assembly. Senator spokesman Yemi Adaramodu said the FCT is administered directly by the federal government through a minister, while legislative powers are exercised by the National Assembly. The clarification comes as the federal government moves to establish a new policing architecture following calls for decentralized policing. President Bola Tinubu is expected to receive the draft executive national policing bill on September 3rd, with the proposed law expected to provide the operational framework for state police. Under the proposed constitutional amendments, state governments would bear the primary responsibility for funding their police forces, while federal grants or assistance could be provided, subject to recommendations by the National Police Council and approval by the National Assembly. Workers of distillery companies in Songwater, Ogun State, have appealed to the federal government to intervene over the prolonged closure of their factories by the National Agency for Food and Drug Administration and Control, NAFDAC. The action followed the enforcement of a ban on the production of alcoholic beverages packaged in sachets and polyethylene terephthalate bags below 200 millimeters. The workers, represented by the National Union of Food, Beverage and Tobacco Employees and the Food, Beverage and Tobacco Senior Staff Association, said NAFDAC officials shut several factories on July the 23rd. They said the closures had left hundreds of workers without their means of livelihood, while acknowledging NAFDAC's responsibility to protect public health The workers described the enforcement as unfair to employees who had no role in company policies or regulatory violations. And back home in Delta State, a realtor and attorney representing Moltech Resources Limited, Samuel Mora, has dismissed allegations of land grabbing and intimidation leveled against him by some members of Amachai community in Okpanam, Delta State. Mora made the clarification while addressing journalists in Asaba, where he responded to accusations that he used the police to threaten residents and illegally seize land belonging to members of the community, maintaining that his actions were backed by a valid court judgment and due legal process. Priscilla Ifeanyi completes that report.
Recall that members of the Amachai community in Okpanam, Oshimili North local government area of Delta State recently staged a peaceful protest at the Delta State Government House in Asaba over an alleged land dispute involving engineer Sam Mora. The protesters claimed that the dispute has resulted in the destruction of homes, farmlands and crops belonging to members of the community.
For the past 3 months, Delta State Police and the CP now inside our bush, Buffalo Squad, now inside our bush, they scatter. They scatter. They don't destroy our farmland. People building. Now go stand for the picture. They don't destroy. They intimidate us. He said, "Now he gets Nigerian police. Say nobody fee arrest him. Some more go fee arrest us. But if we got police made them arrest him, they say they don't give him paper that is above the law."
Responding to the allegations, Engineer Mora described the claims that he forcefully took over community land and used the police to harass residents as forced and malicious, alleging that they were intended to tarnish his reputation. He explained that he acted strictly in his capacity as attorney to Moltech Resources Limited and relied entirely on the lawful court processes in dealing with the disputed property.
Some persons have decided to malign my name in a protest. In a protest that has gone viral, okay? And I've been receiving calls from business partners, associates, with regards to the public for the protests. The protesters have mentioned my name. I've said a lot of things that I have to actually clear the air on the matter. Our company, who I represent as the attorney, the acquired vast area of land at Amachai through one Honorable Emeka Madu, who is now late, one of the group, because they are not carried along and they don't see the proceeds. They also decided to sell 1,000 and also 800 to Moltech.
Engineer Mora presented a document showing that the police verified the court judgment, which was confirmed to be valid and without any stay of execution. According to him, this affirms that all actions taken in respect of the property were lawful and in compliance with the court's directive.
There's been multiple petitions saying that the judgment we are parading is a fake judgment. Now, it's a fake judgment. Police came in to investigate. They brought in police by petition that what we are doing is a fake judgment, that the warrant of possession, the enforcement will do that is execution will do whatever we are doing, that's where everything is fake. So what do we do? What do we do? We now, police investigated and found out that everything was correct.
He further alleged that his life has been threatened by some individuals from the Amachai community over the dispute, adding that despite the situation, he remains committed to pursuing a lawful resolution of the matter.
Some attempts have been made on my life by these people quietly, has made me to apply for police escorts. That decided to protect myself because the experiences of being abducted and tortured, you don't think anybody would like to experience it. So we prevent it as much as possible, and I'm ready to protect myself anytime, any day.
Engineer Mora maintains that the legal document presented vindicated him of the allegations. He reaffirmed his commitment to resolving the dispute within the confines of the law and urged members of the public to disregard what he described as false and misleading claims. Reporting from Asaba, Priscilla Ifeanyi, Dott TV News.
And the Commissioner of Police, Delta State Command, Yemi Oyeni, has convened a high-level stakeholders security meeting as part of the command's proactive strategy to strengthen community participation, improve intelligence gathering, and enhance crime prevention across Delta State. The meeting brought together Delta State cabinet members, local government chairmen, representatives of sister security agencies, leaders of herders, cattle breeders, butchers, and market unions.
In his keynote address, the Commissioner of Police stressed that security is everyone's responsibility and that effective crime prevention requires the collective commitment of government, security agencies, community leaders, and organized associations. He disclosed that intelligence available to the command indicate that criminal elements are increasingly infiltrating legitimate occupations and trade groups to perpetrate kidnapping, drug trafficking, the sale of stolen livestock, and other criminal activities. To address these threats, the CP directed leaders of the various associations to strengthen internal accountability by ensuring that all members are properly identified, profiled, and registered.
We need the attention of the local government chairman to be focused on it, to focus on this cattle market in the rural area, to see how we are going to know those who are doing the activities in that place, how we are going to provide them, and how we are going to monitor them, and how we are also going to monitor this market.
He charged market unions and relevant stakeholders to work closely with the police to rid markets and their surroundings of criminality, enforce reasonable market closing hours, and promptly report suspicious persons and activities.
To make sure that we know those who are going in there and those who are going in out there, the closing time, the opening time, to enable all to regulate it. It is without regulation now. People coming from different parts, from those whom we have arrested, from those whom we have provided, from those whom we have interrogated, we see that that sector needs to be monitored.
Speaking on behalf of the local government chairman and chairman of the Association of Local Governments of Nigeria, Delta State Chapter Isaiah Onorode Esiwa, pledged the commitment of council to supporting police in strengthening grassroots security and emphasized that diligent prosecution of offenders would serve as a deterrent to criminality.
The council chairs are ready to synergize with you. Police too, to assist us, or if we take it seriously, if one or two persons is dealt with, then other will take correction.
I want to suggest that in profiling them, those who occupy those markets should be a joint force between the council and the police force.
This incessant crisis between the herders and the farmers is as a result of these unknown shepherds. So I want to thank the command for identifying this fact. This timing is very, very necessary because if you leave it open, you see them moving up and down, committing all manners of crimes.
The meeting concluded with stakeholders resolving to strengthen intelligence sharing, improve accountability within their respective associations, and sustain collaboration with the Delta State Police Command to enhance public safety and prevent crime across the states. Priscilla Ifani, Dott TV News.
Coming up shortly on the midday news, a 30-year-old man, Adamawa, kills father, dumps corpse in well. Plus, the U.S. court orders halt to Trump's ballroom construction. That's on foreign news, all coming up after this timeout. Please stay with us.
In the heart of Asaba, where the street tells the stories every single day.
From the corridors of powers to the decisions shaping governance and politics in Delta and Nigeria.
From traders counting every naira to families battling rising costs and uncertain times.
From football pitches to sporting successes to the major developments making the headlines all over the world.
And from the untold human stories, the struggles, victories, resilience, and hope of the everyday Nigerians.
This is the news beyond the headlines. Dott TV News are your trusted window to stories that truly matter to the people. Here, we don't just report events, we tell the human stories behind them.
The Delta Broadcast Media Organization, in conjunction with the Delta State Ministry of Information, presents the Delta Broadcast Media Conference 2.0. Theme: The Broadcast Media as a Democratic Catalyst, Shaping Public Trust and Electoral Credibility in 2027. Keynote speaker, Sheun Okimbaloye. Anchor, Politics Today on Channels Television. Guest speakers, Ayo Mairo Essay. Anchor, Arise News. Agatha Amata, CEO, Trend FM. Samuel Fejoku, veteran broadcaster and senior special assistant to the governor on protocol. Guest of honor, Honorable Charles Ehiedu Aneagu, Commissioner for Works, Rural Roads and Public Information, and Right Honorable Imomotimi Dennis Guo. Speaker, Delta State House of Assembly. Special guest of honor, His Excellency, Right Honorable Elder Sheriff F.O. Oborewori, the Executive Governor of Delta State. Convener, media personality, Ruki Onoro. Date, August 14, 2026. Time, 10 a.m. Venue, Unity Hall, Government House, Asaba. There'll be high-level networking, media interaction, capacity building, awards, and lots more. Register to attend on www.deltabroadcastmediaconference.org. For inquiries, call 0706 701 8400 0803 874 9265. Delta Broadcast Media Conference 2.0, powered by Delta State Government. Sponsors Dominion Pearl Homes and One Niger app. Supported by NTA, DBS, Quest FM and TV, Warri Sentinel, Trend FM, Mega FM, Baramatu Voice, Oko FM, Crown FM, Sleek FM, Eku FM, Big Heart Radio, Cruise FM, Atlantic TV, Rise FM, and Dott TV.
Welcome back, and now to the rest of our stories. A 30-year-old man, Peter Sinamai, has been arrested by the Adamawa State Police Command for allegedly killing his father and dumping his body in an abandoned well in Sagere, Gombe local government area of the state. Police spokesman Suleiman Nguroje said that the suspect was arrested after a report was received by the command. He said preliminary investigations indicated that Sinamai allegedly killed his father before disposing of the body in a well. The corpse have since been recovered and deposited at the mortuary for autopsy. A rescued Kwara State nurse, Amira Salihu, has recounted the harsh conditions she and other victims endured during nearly 6 months in captivity following the February 3rd terrorist attack on Woro and Nuku communities in Keima local government area of Kwara State. Salihu said the captives were poorly fed, slept in the open, and were exposed to heavy rainfall with food often limited to guinea corn, salt, and seasoning. The nurse said she helped 10 pregnant women deliver their babies in captivity using her bare hands because she had no gloves or medical equipment. She said the terrorists later discovered she was a nurse and wanted her to remain with them, but she refused. Salihu also disclosed that her 2 brothers were killed during the attack, allegedly because their father had resisted the terrorists' attempts to enter the community. The victims were among 176 women and children abducted during the attack and were freed on Wednesday after nearly 6 months in captivity. The Kwara State government said 13 children died while in captivity, while 12 others remained behind. Governor Abdurrahman Abdurrazak received the rescued victims in a lorry and later visited 14 sick victims receiving treatment, including 3 women who gave birth while in captivity. And now to foreign news. A U.S. appeals court has upheld an order halting the construction of President Donald Trump's proposed White House ballroom, ruling that the massive project requires explicit approval from the Congress. The 2-1 decision gives Trump 2 weeks to ask the Supreme Court to intervene. Trump condemned the ruling as horrendous, politically motivated, and unlawful, and vowed to make an appeal. The president had ordered the project after the demolition of the White House East Wing, arguing that the ballroom was needed to host large events and state dinners. The project was initially estimated at about $200 million, but had since risen as much as $600 million, with reports indicating that taxpayers' funds were being used, despite Trump's claim that it would be privately financed. The case could become the first legal challenge to one of Trump's major White House renovation projects to reach the Supreme Court. The United States plans to provide Colombia with a $1 billion security assistance package subject to approval by the Congress. The announcement was made by U.S. State Department officials as Colombia's new right-wing president, Abelardo de la Espriella, took office. The State Department said the assistance is part of the renewed partnership between Washington and Bogotá. It is indicated to support the new administration in achieving shared security and other strategic goals. The proposed package underscores the Trump administration's efforts to strengthen security cooperation with Colombia and deepen ties with the country's new government. Congress is expected to consider the proposed $1 billion assistance package. Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky is in Serbia for talks with President Alexander Vučić, marking his official visit to the country since taking office in 2019. The visit comes as Ukraine seeks to strengthen international support amid intensifying Russian attacks. Zelensky's visit follows an overnight Russian bombardment of Kyiv and surrounding areas that killed at least 3 people and wounded 7. Meanwhile, both Russia and Ukraine have stepped up long-range attacks with Kyiv, seeking more US-made Patriot air defense systems to counter Russia's missile strikes. Serbia remains one of Russia's closest allies in Europe, with Vučić refusing to impose sanctions on Moscow despite pressure from the European Union. Zelensky and Vučić are expected to discuss bilateral relations, the war in Ukraine, and Serbia's ties with Russia before addressing the media. That's the package we have for you on Dott Television's Midday News. Thank you for watching. Until next time, my name is Nkechi Chukwudi. Bye-bye.